Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet. Today we are going to be talking about Washington, D.C. and their never-ending quest for statehood. Now, for those who are not aware, residents of the District of Columbia have been fighting an on-again, off-again battle for decades to get the opportunity to have their area officially recognized as a state and have all the benefits that are allocated to areas that are states as opposed to protectorates. Now, the way this normally works is every couple of years, somebody with a large enough and a loud enough megaphone gets on a large enough soapbox and makes enough noise that the cries of the people of DC are actually heard by other people outside of the Beltway. And it gets some national traction and people start talking about it. So, I wanted to take a quick look at what set it off this time and then explain to you how screwed up it is that DC still isn't a state. There you go. There's the big boomer that hit social media that once again kicked off a really loud debate as to whether or not the people of DC deserve to be recognized and have statehood. It is Senator Mike Rounds. He's a senator from the state of South Dakota. He put out this adorable tweet. The Founding Fathers never intended for Washington, D.C. to be a state. D.C. statehood is really about packing the Senate with Democrats in order to pass a left-wing agenda. Just look at the D.C. voter registration data. Apparently, only 6% of registered voters in D.C. are registered as Republicans. That obviously scares the crap out of Republicans. However, this garbage tweet does provide ample opportunity to discuss what the hell is wrong with Mike Rounds, people of his ilk, and why human beings who live in the United States of America should be allowed to live in a state and what kind of privileges that may or may not provide. So to start with, Mike, let's discuss where you would be if we just did what the Founding Fathers said and nothing else. It would appear that if we solely listened to the words and the intent of the Founding Fathers, you would not have a job. Why? Because your territory would only have 2 Senate seats instead of 4. And somehow, I doubt that you're one of the 2 most popular senators in either of the Dakotas. So, sit down. Secondly, Mike decided to go mask off and explain a much larger problem. To start with, they didn't sign the magic documents in Washington, D.C. They signed them in Philadelphia, which was the capital and the headquarters of the Union Army. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, D.C. didn't happen till after the Founding Fathers did the whole thing with the pen and the big signature. Just saying, Mike. Also, if we're going to have a grown-up conversation about what these dudes were thinking and what their intent was when they signed the magic documents, a brief reminder that none of those old white dudes who signed that document ever intended for women to have the vote or even own property. Also, they owned other human beings as slaves, and they were property. And yet somehow we ended up here where this is apparently the image of the United States of America. And what people like Senator Mike Rounds believe that the framers of the Constitution and our founding fathers actually intended when they signed the magical documents. So maybe, just maybe, it's time that everybody who lives within the United States of America all get the same amount of protections and representation, because as of today, the people in the District of Columbia, an area which, by the way, is more populous than some of the states in the United States of America, those people have 0 federal representation. And if we're going to talk about what the framers had in mind when they signed the magical documents, here is your reminder that the entire crux of the entire Revolutionary War was the call for no taxation without representation. Until next time, my name is James. I'm from the internet, and I am out. Peace.